So good evening once again. My name is Eguero Prosper, an IT consultant and the CEO at Digitech Zeal Hub. This evening, I want to welcome all of us officially to 2026 Digitech Zeal Hub Coding Bootcamp, specifically for kids and teenagers. So I would like to also hear from each and every one of you. So just kindly unmute, tell us your name and where you are joining us from. Quickly, let's do that as fast as possible.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Afolabi Oluwasegun. I'm joining from Lagos in Ikorodu.
You are welcome, Afolabi, joining from, that's Afolabi, right? Afolabi, think I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
you are welcome joining us from Lagos, Ikorodu, to be precise. You are welcome to Digitech Hub. Can I hear from the next,
Thank you, sir.
please? Let's do that very fast so that we can dive into the training. Akachi, I have Akachi here and I have other persons here. Please, can you unmute and tell us your name and where you are joining from?
Yes, sir. Good evening. My name is Awad Akati. I'm joining from Owerri State.
Okay, Akachi is joining from Owerri, Imo State. You are welcome to Digitech Hub
Thank you.
2026 Keys/Teens Coding Bootcamp. Congratulations. The next person, Galaxy A9. If you can understand, we have about two persons joining from that point. Can you unmute and tell us your names separately?
Name is Bliss.
Okay, your name is Bliss. You are joining from America, or where are you joining us from?
Saba.
From Asaba Delta State. Okay. The next person should also introduce him or herself. Please make sure that your video is not distracting. Make sure your video is stable. For those of you sharing your visual, make sure that you do not disturb others with your video movements. Okay, so Akachi, please help me to update in the group that we have started, that they should join now. Please, somebody.
Okay, sir. Okay.
All right, so on this note, we will start officially. So listen to the following information before we get started. Yeah, this is Digitech Zeal Hub, an online training platform where we organize professional and basic tech training for individuals, organizations across the world. At Digitech Zeal Hub, we train students on the following programs. Number one, we train students on computer fundamentals. That is the very basic aspect of computing. They will also offer cybersecurity training. We also offer web development, where you'll be taught how to develop websites. We also train on digital marketing. We teach you how you can promote brand products via the digital channels. We also train on Python programming, where we teach you how to build live application, just as you are going to learn in this bootcamp. We also train on AutoCAD for engineering students. We also train on data analytics, where you'll be taught how you can draw meaningful insights from data given to you for making informed decisions. Now, please, I would like every one of us to pay attention, particularly Galaxy A9. Your video is just distracting us. Please, you can turn off your video. Please, please off your video. Please, we don't want to see your video if it's not going to be stable. Thank you very much. All right, so we are about to start, and I would like us to listen to the following learning guideline. Number one, make sure you get your writing material around you. Make sure you take important points or notes while the class is on. Very important. In the case you want to ask question, feel free to unmute and start talking. Once I hear anybody's voice, I will pause to listen to such person. Or you use the reaction button for those of us that know how to use it. And then please make sure that you grab everything that is going to be taught in tonight's section. Please, we are going to schedule another training because we have actually started fully. Remember, we ought to have had a class on Tuesday or Thursday thereabout, but we waited for some of us to conclude our exams. I believe all school should have vacated by now, or probably must have concluded exams. So another session will be coming up on Tuesday, and that will be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Please take note of this information so that you don't miss any session. All the sessions are packed and they are going to be very interactive. Make sure you plan ahead not to miss any of the sessions. All right, so while the class is going on, endeavor to make sure you remain muted so that you can only hear the voice of the facilitator. All right, so I want to once again welcome all of you, and I also want to congratulate you for making it to Digitech Zeal Hub 2026 Keys/Things Coding Session, where you are going to be exposed to 3 different commonly used programming languages, such as Python programming for creating apps and web development or web design, or let's say creating web apps using HTML and CSS. But tonight, we are going to look at the fundamental and then probably introduce us to one of these languages. I hope you can hear me. Can I get a response from Folabi if you can hear me? I hope my audio is still very good.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right. So at any point you cannot hear me, quickly react so that I can take note of that. So
Okay,
what
sir.
are we going to learn tonight? Or this is day 1 officially. I know we had a class last week on general computing, and like I told us, that class was not really core part of this training. It was just a prerequisite. It was a class that was organized to prepare you towards what? This training. That is why you see us sounding that we are starting the training officially now or today. So this is going to be day 1. All the classes will be recorded and they will be uploaded via our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe so that each time I upload a video, even outside your training, you get notified. I hope that is clear to everyone so that we can go into the training proper. So,
Yes, sir.
okay, so what is going to be our learning outcome today? At the end of today, what are we expected to achieve? So make sure you take your notes. So our learning objective, I hope you can see my screen. Our learning outcome or objective today. So make sure you write, like I told us, our learning objective in this section, at the end of this section today. You should be able, number one, you should be able to know what is called or define coding and programming at the end of this session. So I'm trying to, you should be able to know how to define, I hope we are writing, define coding and programming. At the end of this section, we should be able to know how to define coding and programming. At the end of this session, we should be able to know how to explain why coding. I hope we are writing. Can I get a response? Why coding is important?
Yes, sir.
All right. Why coding is important. So we should be able to know that at the end of this section, why coding. We need to explain why coding is important. And then at the end of this session, we should be able to identify different programming languages. Then at the end of today's section, we should also know what is called, in other words, to describe what we call an algorithm. At the end of today's session, we should also be able to draw a simple flow chart. A simple flow chart. At the end of this session, we should be able to understand that computer follows instruction. Exactly. All right. So this is going to be our objective. And then, of course, we are going to probably, depending on, so I'm not going to rush because this is the very first session. So my assignment is very simple, just like I've highlighted on the screen. So at the end of this session, when you end or leave this session, if you are asked by anyone what is coding, you should be able to respond positively. Or what is programming, then you should be able to also explain why coding is important. If you have others around you that are not taking advantage of this kind of live training, you tell them to join because you must have known a lot of importance of what coding. And then you should be able to know how to identify different programming languages. And then, of course, to draw a simple flowchart. You're going to understand what is flowchart. So this lesson provide a strong foundation. That is our objective generally, particularly the topics that I have spelled out. So at the end of the day, what are we trying to imbibe in you? So this particular training is to provide a strong foundation before introducing HTML, CSS, Python. All right, are languages that we advertise to train you within this week. Remember, I told us this program is going to run. But for those of you that are privileged to join the first batch, it means your training will exceed 6 weeks, because the whole of August, the training will still continue, right? So I believe those that will join the second batch, they are the ones that will probably use just either 4 weeks or 5 weeks. All right. Okay. I hope you can still hear me. Can I get a response from any one of you? And I hope you are done with the writing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So now let's look at introduction to coding. Introduction to coding. Introduction to coding. Introduction to coding. That's right. Introduction to coding. Introduction to coding. All right. So let's look at the definition of coding. Definition. Definition. How do we define coding? Please, I would like any one of you to unmute and tell me what he or she understand before now, what coding is. In your own understanding before this class, what do you think is coding? Let me start from Afolabi. Afolabi, please, can you tell us what do you know about coding before now?
Okay, I think coding is the act of using languages to create an instruction.
Good. Perfect. Coding is the art of using computer languages, right? To create instruction. Okay, can I also hear from Galaxy A9? Please, can you tell us what do you understand by the word coding before now? What do you know about coding before now?
I don't know anything about coding. No, they have not taught me.
Okay. Thank you for that quick response. So you are going to know what coding is tonight. Okay, what about Akashi? Let me still find out for one more person before we continue. Akashi, what do you know about coding before now?
My own understanding, coding is the process of using programming languages to create software, programs, projects, etc. to solve tasks.
Okay, all right. So you are very correct. Now let's look at the official definition of coding, right? So let's write coding is the process of writing. That is the key word. The process of writing instruction. Are we together? Instructions that tells a computer what to do. I am trying to bring it down to your level as kids or teenagers, right? So you can see this is a very well explained or simplified definition that tells you what coding is all about. You will all know that that was the reason why we organized that first class. I remember in that session, I told us that computer as electronic device have the ability of receiving these instructions, isn't it? Can somebody affirm that? We discussed that the computer
Yes, sir.
code can
Yes,
receive
sir.
what? Good, can receive these instructions. So you can see that the computer is built to receive instructions from us. All right. So which means that it is garbage in, garbage out. All right. So which means that the work of programmers or coders, we are the ones that program, we are the one that write this instruction that the computer word follows. And these steps are written in such a way that they are sequential. That is what? One step after the what? The other. And that is how the computer will operate. So indirectly, as kids or teenager or as a child, why are you learning coding at this point? Now you can see it. You are actually learning how to create the technology. So which means that after this training, you are no longer just a technological word consumer. You are a technological word creator, because you will now be able to create apps that will be performing operation or tasks for others who are just what? The consumer of technology. I hope I'm making sense. Can I get a response from at least one person?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So next time anybody approach you after this training, you say that I am not just a technology what consumer, I am a technology what creator, because you write software, all right? You write instruction that the computer follows. So you can see that coding is the backbone of the entire technology that we are all enjoying today. So it also means that without coding, there will not be anything called technology. I can prove it if I have the time. The microphone that you use, can somebody tell me whether there is programming in it? Can you unmute and tell us the microphone that people use?
Yes, there is, sir. Yes, there is.
Good. That is coding. So if you check, you will find out that all the devices that people are using today, being it mobile phone, being it whatever television, you will find out that what? There is a trace of what? Technology. Somebody program instruction that that particular object is adhering to. So let's quickly explain it in a better way. Now, but before now that we understand what programming, what coding is all about, do we have any question on that? Any question on what is coding? I believe that definition is clear to every one of you. Is it clear? Do we have any question on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
No, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir. Very clear.
Okay, good. Now let's look at what is the computer itself. Remember, you can see how that definition is connecting to you knowing what is computer, because that definition mentioned that coding is the process of writing command. You see, another word for describing instruction is called what? Command. That tells the computer what to do. So it will be nice that you know what the computer that you write this instruction for is. And that is why I'm just going to quickly look at the definition of computer. I would not want to spend time in writing it because we have settled that in the last class. So I will just, glance through it. So a computer is an electronic device that accepts data. All right, that is instruction given already. Process it, store it, and produce information. So just in case you missed that section where we have already settled it, now at least for you, before you proceed learning programming or coding, you must understand what computer is. At least you should know, because the instruction you are going to write, they are going to be written on the computer. They are instructions or command that you are writing to tell the computer to do something for you. So it is wise you understand the computer, which is like the carrier of your codes or your instructions. I hope I'm still communicating. I hope I'm still communicating.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Now, just to explain a little bit further, what I'm doing right now, I'm coming in between to balance it. I just want to quickly make us understand what this computer is and some of the parts that makes it up before we dive into the programming properly. So let's quickly spend some time to explain our computer what devices. What do we mean by computer devices? Let's spend some time to talk about that. Computer what? Devices. I want to quickly spend some time because I understand there are some persons that were not in that preparation class. Now, under computer devices, we have what we call the input devices. We have what we call the input devices. All right. And these input devices, these are devices that are responsible for feeding or giving the computer these instructions that a programmer or a coder must have what? Written. So we need to understand that, yes, you as a programmer or as a coder, you write the instruction. But you need to also understand how does this instruction goes into the system. So you pass them into the system through the what? The input what? Devices. So under the input devices, that is where we have the mouse, the keyboard. Because right now, as you are going to code now, I believe you are going to use your keyboard to write this instruction. And that is the reason why I am highlighting this briefly before we dive into the major assignment. So we also have the output devices. We also have the output devices. So the output devices are the devices or units that allows us to receive the process. Now remember that we are the ones that write instruction. We give those instructions to the computer and the computer will respond to us. So that computer response is the output. What computer brings out as a result of your input. And that is where we have devices that are responsible for feeding us what the computer has worked on. Devices like the video, the monitor, devices like the printer. All these are what? Projector. All these are what? Output what? Devices. Speaker that bring out what? The sound produced by the system. And then, of course, we have the last one I'm going to explain is what? The processing device or unit. Let me just refer to this as unit, otherwise also known as what? CPU. All right, so the processor is like the unit that carries the logical units, which is made up of arithmetic and logical units called a loop. Also constitutes the storage, both fixed storage and auxiliary what? Storage, like a flash drive and the rest. So that is where the CPU is all about. So example of some of the what? The computer devices that every programmer should know, because you will come across them even as you write code. And that is the reason why I am taking my time to explain them. Number one is keyboard. You should know how to use your keyboard. Then number two is mouse. Number three is monitor, then printer. You should know about these devices. And I want to believe most of us here must have heard of these devices. Am I correct? Most of us must have heard of these devices, and most of us have even used them. All right, so that is just for us to know what the computer that we write this instruction for is all about. So at this point, we want to look at some facts about the computer. Let's look at some very important facts about the computer. So when we say facts, how many of us know that computer cannot think? Can somebody respond whether you know whether computer cannot think, or can computer think? Can somebody unmute and tell us? I want to get your reply, your response on that. Can computer think? Who can help us with that?
So I can't think on its own, but when
Okay.
also,
A computer cannot
that
think on its own,
a
right?
computer cannot think. A computer
Okay, your network is breaking. So in nutshell, what you are saying is that the computer
cannot think.
cannot think
If
on its own. That's what you are saying, that the computer cannot think what? On its own, right? That is what you are saying, that the computer cannot think on its own. Okay, all right.
yes, sir,
Okay,
that's programming.
okay. Okay, now I think it's very correct. It's very correct that the computer cannot think on its own. So we should get that as a fact. And that is why our input is needed. All right, don't let anybody bamboozle you. Don't let anybody deceive you that the computer can work alone. Don't let anybody deceive you that the computer can work alone. And that is why programmers, coders are needed. And that is why they are flourishing. That is why they are making good money from technology, because the computer, everything that happens around technology is being programmed by what? Programmers. All right, so let's get that right, that the computer cannot think on its own, on their own. They cannot think. They only follow what? Instruction. Who are the people that create this instruction? You and I. So you can see that as a kid or as a teenager, learning this at this point is a huge advantage to you, because imagine you start practicing this before you finish your education. You must have started developing apps that you can even sell. Our company will even look for you to hire you, because the computer cannot think on its own. So everything that is within it today is being what? Programs. So let's look at some some apps that people are using today. So I would like to ask you, can anybody tell me any app that he or she know that is being built by programmer or coder? Any app that is being built by programmer or coder that you know? Can you unmute and tell us any application that is built by programmer or art of programming or coding? Okay, who wants to try?
Sir, most apps, every app now is built with programming. Even this our Zoom that we're using for our calls,
Good.
is still programming.
Exactly.
ChatGPT is programming. WhatsApp is programming.
Good. So you can see, I just wanted us to know that this particular skill that we are learning is very, very profitable to you, either now or in the future. As a student, you will see that when you go back to school after this whole training, your way of reasoning, how your approach to problem solving will definitely what? Increase. Because that is one of the direct benefits of what? Learning coding. It makes you to know how to stay put. It stretches you to stay on until the problem is solved, because that is one major benefit. Programming or coding will help you to know how to simplify complex problems. You know, we teach you how to break it down until you are able to get the solution. So, and that is one of the main reasons why you see today our government are recommending coding for children because it helps them to improve on those courses that used to be difficult, like mathematics, physics, particularly those science subjects. Because coding or programming will have stretched your way of reasoning, your way of thinking. Then you will have become a problem-solving oriented person. You no longer be that type of a child that when he or she see problem, he runs away. No, you will now be able to confront every challenge that comes. It could be a mathematical challenge. It could be any challenge. You will learn how to break it into smaller steps until you are able to provide solution. So let me just add some of the apps that are existing today as a result of coding or programming. WhatsApp. Just imagine how much the WhatsApp owner is making. Just check the numbers of people that are making money, that are using WhatsApp. Just imagine the number of people that are using WhatsApp. And each time WhatsApp is used to send message, money goes to the what? To the developer. So that journey did not start a day. It started what? That journey did not start one day and completed what? One day. It started one day, just like the way you are starting. And then after some years of personal development, then you should be able to get to that point where you'll be able to reason a particular challenge in the society and create an app that addresses it, and thereafter you make money from it. TikTok, today, everybody, they are dancing on TikTok. That is coding. That is programming. YouTube, all right? Even the Zoom, like my brother said. So now let's look at what is programming. You see, we have already looked at what is coding. Can somebody unmute and tell us what is coding? Because now we want to look at what is programming so that you know the difference between coding and programming.
Coding is the process of writing instructions that tells a computer what to do.
Good. Perfect. So now we want to know what is what? Programming. What is programming? What is programming? Right. Programming, let me write it so that we can all get it. Programming. Make sure you are writing. Programming is, and then you tell me the differences when I'm done defining it. You compare it with coding. So you know when to use programming and when to use coding. So programming is the process of designing, writing, testing, and maintaining computer programs. So who can tell us the differences? I want you to compare programming and coding and tell us the difference. Can anybody try?
Yes.
What is the differences?
Coding is writing instructions, while programming is designing, texting, maintaining a computer.
Okay. Can I also hear from another person? Let me hear from another person.
Sir, sir, I think coding is like the surface level, like the basic of programming. Programming is like a broader scope. Without coding, there is no programming. Programming is like the steps it takes to make the finished product. So like this your WhatsApp now. You say that for WhatsApp, that example you give, coding is just like giving it instructions. for sending message, the computer will receive it, send it to the receiver. But now we're talking about the code actually used to give it instructions, the design of WhatsApp, the storage of WhatsApp, yes, everything involved. Are you hearing me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. All right.
Okay,
All
do you
right.
what I said?
Yes, yes. Okay, that is good. That is good response from both of you there. Now we are going to analyze it together so that you now see. So let's look at the differences. Just write down the differences. The differences. So mathematically, I'm going to use a formula to express their differences. So if we say coding is equals to writing instruction. Instruction. Say coding, writing what? Instructions. Now, let's look at what programming says. Programming is equals to planning, writing, testing, just like what the first person says, testing, and improving a computer solution. All right, so you can see that is why interchangeably somebody can say I'm a programmer. Somebody can say what? I am a coder. Somebody can say I am coding. Somebody can say I am programming. So you can see that the two words, if you look at the differences, there are common elements that allows you to use them what? Interchangeably. But if we look at the intensity, we are looking at how serious each of them. You can see that coding is simply what? The process of writing this instruction. Why programming is a little bit, it's not just writing, it involves you planning. And that is where we are going to learn algorithm and flow chart from. It's about planning. That is why every app developer must have sat down to sketch the flow charts. That is the communication of the app. At one point, something will come in. At one point, it will be printed out. At one point, something will go in. At one point, something will come out. All this is the planning stage. So programming is like wider, is like deeper than what coding. That is the reason why at your level as kid and teen, you will see us when we are promoting our adverts. We will not write programming, we will write coding because we are looking at it that you are just being given the foundation of what programming. So it's just like using programming is more advanced for you because you at your level that you are scratching the surface, you will not learn it to the aspect of all these mentioned aspect, testing, improving. So at least as a kid or a child or as a teenager, the aspect of this that is recommended or what should be your objective of learning this is for you to learn how to write what instruction. I hope I'm communicating, please. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Because that is why when you are done with your secondary school, you further your education. Some of us will go and study computer science. It will take you to another level. When you are done with that computer science, you will not even go to IT centers and meet professionals like us if you are not opportune to meet us like this. And then because we are the experienced practitioners, that because school, we focus more on giving you the science part of it, the foundation, the theoretical aspect. Why those that are in industrial training or those that are in industry, you see them focusing on how they use this knowledge to solve real life problem. Okay, so now that we understand that, I believe we are done writing. Can I wipe it off? Can somebody respond? Is anybody still writing this?
No.
Okay, so let's look at why learn what? Coding. So this is where we are. Remember our objective. So we are gradually what? Dissecting our what? Objective. So why should we learn coding? That will connect us to what? The benefits as well. Benefits. So that when you leave this session, if you have any friend that is not in this, please, you need to, tell their parents to enroll them here. Of a truth, we are just doing it to develop you. There is no way what you are going to learn will quantify the money, because it's an opportunity for you. So tell somebody around you, tell their parents if you know them, that you are learning this at so place. They give them my contact, because it's really an opportunity. Benefit of coding. We are going to see it now. Number one is that what? Coding improve. I hope we are writing. Improve what? Problem. I need a response on that. Are we writing? Problem solving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Problem solving skills. I've been highlighting it since. Problem what? Solving what? Skills. That is one of the direct benefits of coding. So you cannot see the reason why teenagers are now advised. Even some schools have integrated this in their curriculum. Some schools have replaced it with general computing, all those things we learn as ICT. They have replaced it with what? Coding. Because research has discovered that kids, teens that are into coding or that codes, they are more problem solving oriented. They have more capacity to solve what? Problems. And they have more problem solving skills. So that is the first benefit of programming. The next one is that coding, so you can see how I'm using the words interchangeably. Whenever I use the word coding in this context, see it as the same thing as what? Programming. Now, let's look at what coding encourages what? Creativity. This one is very important. Coding encourages what? Creativity. Can somebody unmute and tell us what is creativity? For somebody to be creative, what does that mean? Anybody trying? What does it mean by being creative?
It
Create.
Bring back ideas.
Okay, let me take you guys one after the other. Let me start with Galaxy A9. What is the meaning of programming encourages creativity?
Bringing out your skills and ideas.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay, let's go to Akachi now. Akachi, please tell us what is the meaning of that encourages creativity. Kachi? We can
it
hear
means
you.
it.
Okay, go ahead. Go
Are
ahead.
you hearing me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I said it means it helps the person to think of new ideas and perspectives, new products, etc.
Innovation, right? In one word, innovation, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. I have Bruno. Bruno, I hope you can hear us. What is your take on that as well? The other person do I have here? I have Afolabi. Afolabi, please. Afolabi or Bruno, any one of you that can answer first. I hope you are following us. So my question in the next few minutes will come to either Bruno or Afolabi. I've heard much from Galaxy A9 and Akachi. Okay, so this is one of the direct benefits of what? Being a coder. You will see how they think. They think outside the box. They introduce innovation, new ideas. All right. You know why? Because in the process of solving complex challenges, in that process, there is a making. There is a making. All right. That process will redefine you. That process will make you uncomfortable. That will lead to discovery things ordinarily, if you are not subjected to that pressure, you will not what be you will not discover. And that is why you see programmers are innovative, because as they are solving more problems in the process, as they are facing challenges, they are looking for way out. Then at that process, they are also discovering what new ideas. So that is why we say that coding encourages what creativity. Let's look at more benefits of coding. Build coding, build logical thinking. Logical thinking. Bruno or Afolabi, what do we mean by logical thinking? What do we mean by logical thinking? Either Omechi, Bruno, or Afolabi, any of you should respond to this question. What is logical thinking? Afolabi, are you still here? Okay.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, so can you tell us what you know about logical? When somebody say you are logical, what does that mean?
I think logical thinking means like you are thinking like in a good direction. Your thinking is high.
Yes, yes, good. That is the summary of it. Your thinking. So programmers, coders, they know how as their thinking is high. Now, when we say somebody is being logical, most times that if the person is doing something at the background that is confusing others that are not logical. So, sometimes when somebody is trying to play over, you say, don't be too logical. That is, the person is trying to use his high thinking faculty to manipulate. So, in other words, every programmer knows how to manipulate, but this manipulation is on manipulating the computer to do something what good. All right. So, and that is why you see some persons are using it for bad thing, because they have already know that the computer is logical, so it can be easily used to what? To twist someone, which should be avoided by everyone. You learn computer for good purpose. Now, let's look at the next benefit. Opens career. This one align with some of the things I've said. Career opportunity. Career opportunity. So by the time you are ready to go into the industry, you will be hot kick by having this knowledge you are learning at your age. By the time you finish secondary school, you are writing code, you are already a coder, and then you enter university, another 5 years, you must have developed yourself to a level where as soon as you graduate, company will start looking for your type. Now, the next one, coding helps students. So this one that relates to you directly now. Help students to create games. Help students to create games, like we are going to learn, particularly when we get to Python. And then to create games, websites, and application. So this is one of the direct benefit. Then the next benefit is what? Programming or coding helps you to develop, I hope we are writing all this, please. Develop confidence. Confidence with technology. And this one is very important. You will see that there are some persons, there are some children that are not learning with this method you are learning with. They prefer going to physical center. And when you go to physical center, there are a lot of things you have a lot of experience you will be lacking. Just imagine how you are able to manage Zoom. You see some children that learned this skill from physical center. They don't know anything about Zoom. They don't know how to attend online classes. They don't know how to attend online conferences, because at the end of the day, when you start working, I am very sure that before it get to your time, before you get to that age of working after your school, technology will have developed that all this physical training will no longer exist. Right? Once the online people like us are able to be sincere, not to dupe people, you will see that people will develop confidence. Just imagine how much and the security you have saved yourself as you are learning from your comfort home. You did not enter any vehicle, you have saved that money. There's no risk of accident, you have saved yourself that. And you are learning without distraction. So there are a whole lot of benefits, but some parents have not discovered this. And they keep saying my child should go to. And they know that everything is graduating from that physical towards online. Most of the affordable jobs, most of the lucrative jobs today, they are online. So companies are gradually, are graduating or moving from physical manual to automation, and which is going to be done, or which is already taking shape with technology. So I really congratulate those of you at your age. You are able to join an online class like this, and you are learning comfortably. Even some adults are having issue with this. So it's a huge plus. So at the end of the day, it develops your confidence with technology. When next anybody give you iPad or phone or anything that pertains to technology, you see the confidence at which you will embrace it, not being scared. There are some persons that have not attempted to use what technology. There are some persons that sometimes when we train them at the physical center, when they come for the first time, they are not exposed. Touching the mouse, they are scared. Touching any part of the computer, they are scared, because they have not been opportune to be exposed like you are doing right now. So that is one of the coding, because you know why it gives you that confidence? Because you are the creator. You create the technology. You don't just use it. Just imagine you create something. How can that thing scare you? I don't know if anybody is following. Are you with me? That is the reason why God that created us. You can never get to the point where you are saying God is scared of human being. How? He's the one that created us. He knows everything that makes up our body. That you can see that confidence now. But you as a human being, you are sometimes you are afraid of your fellow human being. Why? Because you don't know what makes up that person. So that is one of the reasons why our coding, boosts our what confidence. Please, do we have any question? I need to hear from every one of you right now. Just unmute. Tell us your experience so far. Is the class going well? Are you learning something? I want to hear from you, one after the other, quickly. Please, let's do that very fast if you can all hear me. Hope you guys can still hear me.
Yes, sir. The class is going well. We don't have any question.
And you are learning, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What have you learned so far? Can you just tell the world what you have learned so far within 1 hour?
I've learned the difference between coding and programming, and benefit of coding, and why you need it.
Good. The next person. Afolabi, are you learning something? Bruno, I've not been able to hear from you. So while I'm waiting for their response, let's look at real life application. Let's write real life application. Is you can mute yourself now. Real life application of coding.
Yes, sir. I've been able to learn that coding is very important in everyday society and will also be beneficial in the future because the world is growing.
Good. Right. Thank you for that response. Now, let's look at some real life application of coding. Real life application of coding. Number one, we have already mentioned there, but I just want to chip in. Games. These are the things you are seeing today that as a result of what? Coding. And that is why we are pointing them. The next one is mobile app. Mobile apps. Just imagine we don't have OPay. Just imagine we don't have Money Point. Just imagine we don't have PalmPay. Imagine the time it will have taken people to go to the bank. For those of us that experience that age, we understand you have to go there and stand. People will be fighting on the queue. But today, comfortably, coding is solving all this problem. People are from their comfort home can just get the app, make their transaction without going to the bank. So these are the real life. Any mobile app you see, that is the application of what? Programming. Websites that you also see. Websites. These are real life application of programming. Banking. Banking. These are the real life application of programming. Hospital. Hospital. All the hospital you are seeing, or majority of them, in fact, the equipment they are using today, in case you don't know, they are programmed. Now, doctors don't stress themselves again. Once you come and you say you are not feeling fine, the first thing they do, they have technology. Please get it right. Each time we use the word technology, we are talking about both software and what? Hardware. They have software they use now to run their diagnostic to diagnose your body, and then from there they will be able to know the drugs to administer to you. So you can see programming is actually taking the hustle from making everything easier for us. All right. So it's really making impact. So you have to be in this kind of fast growing and impact making industry. Very important. That is where you have to be if you want to advance with the world. So robots, all these things are real life what? Application of what? Artificial intelligence that we are hearing today. Artificial intelligence. That is the AI, artificial intelligence. Bracket AI. So everything about AI you are hearing today is the real application of what? Of coding or programming. So now let's quickly talk about types of, remember I said today class is just to lay the foundation. Types of programming languages. Types of programming what? Languages. I believe this is part of our objective, right? Somebody should mute. I think we've covered about 2 to 3 of them. This should be like the 4th one or the 3rd one. So when we started, I said at the end of this session, you will understand different types of programming languages. Now, you need to understand something. Computer is a device itself. So it needs a language that understands it. So we are not talking about, when you hear programming language, we're talking about languages that are used to instruct which objects. Can somebody unmute and complete it? These are languages that are used to command or instruct which objects. Can somebody complete that for me? Quickly. or mute. I'll respond to that.
A computer.
A
And
computer.
tells it what to do.
Good. So you are not going to use Hausa language to instruct the computer. You are not going to use Yoruba. You are not going to use Isoko. So if you are going to tell the computer what to do, you must learn one of the languages that the computer would understand. So all these languages, they are what we call what? Computer programming languages. They are what we are calling computer programming languages. So we want to look at their types, and then we'll take the one we have registered for, or the one we are going to learn. The first one is HTML. HTML, which is used for creating web pages structure. So I will just give us this summary for now. By the time we start taking them one after the other in our next meeting, you will understand it better. But I'm just giving us the summary. So now when you leave this class, you already have an idea of what you are going to do with HTML, because which means that HTML is going to use to define your website's word structure. That is where you are going to write the code that will define the skeleton, the shape of every website that you use today. So that is one of the programming. Now, do you know what qualifies it to be programming language? Even though it's not a core programming language, what qualifies it to be a programming language? See, any language that you use in writing code, so long it writes code, it is a programming language. The only thing you can tell me is that it's either is supporting programming language or is the main what? Programming language. So HTML is one of those supporting hypertext markup language. It's just a language that is used to define the structure of a website. It's not a core language. We're going to find out as we proceed. Now, the next one is CSS. So you can now begin to know why we advertise this. So we strategically, based on your age bracket, to assemble these three languages for you, because these three languages are the languages that are directly or indirectly driving technology. Now, CSS is for web pages, styling. Web pages what? Styling. The word styling, just like the makeup to paint. All right. So like the house you are in right now has a structure, and that structure is defined by the laying of the blocks. It is the block laying that forms the room shape that you are in right now. Now, but the house is painted, making it look good, presentable. That is CSS. CSS is the makeup artist. I hope we are following. Can I get a response from Bruno? Bruno, I've not been able to hear your voice. I hope you are following. Okay. All right. So let's look at the next programming language, which is Python. So Python is also a programming language, which is beginner friendly. Beginner what? Friendly language or programming. So you see, Python is very simple because its syntax are equivalent to the way you speak English. And that is the reason why we pick it for you to learn, because it's good for beginners. And the syntax of Pythons are very simple. So you cannot pick program like JavaScript at your age. When you finish learning this one, you can now begin to attempt all these other complicated programming language like Java and the rest, C# and the rest of them, C++. These are more difficult programming languages. But when it comes to Python, Python is ruling the world right now. Nobody wants stress again, even though those ones are very tedious or complex. Everybody is following where the AI is, what makes things easier for them. I hope we are following. Then we have some other ones. I'm just going to focus on these three because these are the ones that we advertise we are going to train you on within these 6 weeks or thereabouts. So we have other ones. I will just mention them. You can go and research on them. We have Java, we have C++, we have Scratch, which is like block-based coding, which is to an extent, that one is also recommended for kids. But we are picking these three because of the time factor. And then we have C++, we have Java, and there are other languages that are customized for different domain out there. Are we together? I hope you are done writing. I want to wipe off this. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's shift our focus now that we understand different programming languages. Let's shift our focus to understanding what is called algorithm. Remember, it's part of what we outlined at the beginning as part of the objective of this particular day one training. What do we mean by algorithm? Every programmer must know this. Everything that I'm teaching us in this session, they are like I'm like equipping us. I'm trying to wire us to know what is required and how we will reason. Right? So what is, please, can you mute yourself? That person that's not talking, your audio is completed. All right, so let's look at what is algorithm. Because in programming, these are words, these are terms that, particularly those of us that are studying computer science or computer science, you come across all this. So it's of great advantage to you now. You are getting to know them. All right, so an algorithm, let's look at them. An algorithm is a step. Can you get it now? Step by step procedures. Step by step what? Procedures. Step by step procedures for solving a problem. Or completing. I hope you are writing. Completing a task. Completing a task. So that is what algorithm is. So in the field of programming, you should know this. An algorithm is a step-by-step procedure. Every programmer. That is why when we're defining programming, we say planning. So that is where you map out, okay, what are the steps I'm going to? What is the sequence of this step? Which one should come first? Which one should follow? That is how a program, every application that you use today. For example, if I just pick OPay, if you want to send money to somebody, there are what? Procedures you follow, right? You open the app first, you log in with your login detail, and then you click on what? Transfer. And then after transfer, you impute the amount. All these are steps that have been programmed. If you jump one, the other one will not work. That is how computer is programmed. So that is algorithm. So every programmer must, first of all, sit down and map out what? The logical algorithm. That is what we call the pseudo coding. It's a way where you map out things, you sketch. All right. I hope we are following. Can I get a response from that before I move on? I want to give another example.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me cite another example. All right. Or maybe I will ask you. Let me ask you what are the algorithm to make a cup of tea? Can somebody unmute and tell me? Because we say algorithm is a step-by-step procedure for solving a problem. if somebody say, okay, let me start by asking, Afolabi, please, can you unmute? Let me ask you directly. Okay, Afolabi,
Yes, sir.
do you know how to make tea? Afolabi does not know how to make tea. Oh. Then we go to Galaxy A9. Afolabi, are you with me?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
have a bit of network issues.
Okay. So if you can hear me now, I was asking, do you know how to make tea?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the algorithm? What do I mean by what is the algorithm? What do I mean? Interpret it first. What is the algorithm? What does that mean?
The step-by-step
Oh,
procedures.
God bless you. Oh yeah, give all the step.
Depending on the type of tea, there is to just boil water
Okay, so
and then add, add your beverage, your milk, and possibly sugar.
okay. So let me go to Galaxy A9. Follow me, you can mute yourself. Galaxy A9. Tell me the kind of food you know how to process. If it is Indomie, just tell us. Galaxy A9, if you can hear me. Galaxy A9. I'm coming to Bruno. Get ready. If Galaxy A9, tell us the kind of food you can process.
Indomie.
Indomie. Or yeah, give us the algorithm.
Put your water, put your noodles, you put your pepper, the onions, and the spices. Vegetables.
Vegetable. Okay.
Then allow it to boil.
Okay, good. You can. So now let's bring it and let's go to Bruno. Bruno, please, can you also share your experience with us? Which food do you know how to process? Bruno. Your audio is very low, Bruno. I don't know if it's the device you are using. Okay, I can't hear you very well. Maybe you try and increase the volume of it could be the network. Okay, so to avoid wasting our time, at least with the few persons respond, you can mute yourself now, Bruno. We are unable to hear you very well. I believe you are still following. Now, what we are saying is that you see what you just narrated now. That is how it is in programming. If this is OP app, before the person start developing it, he or she must have what? Sketch the algorithm step by step on how it's going to complete the task. That is, you can see what makes us problem solving persons now. Because we are trained in a way that we itemize the steps. We analyze the problem and then know, okay, how are we going to? So we are not the type that will just jump into it. We will take our time to analyze things. And in that process, you will now begin to discover solution. So that is how. So let me just talk about making a cup of tea. You boil water. You put a tea bag in a cup. And then you pour hot water. You add sugar or milk. Then you stir it up. And then you drink it. So that OP that we easily install and start transferring, that is just like the finished product. A lot of work was done. It is possible that the person debug it for like 2 years before it works, or months before it works, before all the functionality works. So that is the reason why you see some persons at old age running away from programming. But at your age, you are beginning to scratch it. There is no way you will be on it for 4 years, 5 years in university, graduate, that you will not be good. That is how it is. I hope that is clear. Now let's look at the flow chart. It's part of what we plan to cover. Let's look at what is flow chart in programming. Flow chart. Flow chart. So you should be able to know how to differentiate algorithm from flow chart. All right. So let's look at flow chart definition. Flow chart is flow charts. A flow chart. I hope you are still hearing me very well. Somebody should unmute. Respond immediately. A flow chart. I hope you are getting me. A flow chart.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. So a flow chart is a diagram. You are seeing the difference. Is what? A diagram that uses symbol. So in the next class, I'm going to ask you to differentiate algorithm from what? A flowchart. Using symbol to show, can see the emphasis now, to show the step of an algorithm. You can see how it's connecting back to, you see, in algorithm, thank God I have the two definitions on the screen. In algorithm, you state the step by step. Now, those steps that you must have mapped out, you are going to now represent them with symbol. That, okay, we have input. There should be a symbol, an oval shape that represents it. We are going to look at that. I can just go to Google and browse them so that you can see them real. So representing those algorithm steps with symbol, a programmer must understand these symbols. There is a symbol that represents input, which means once a programmer sees that symbol, oh, at this point you are giving something to the system to process. There is a symbol that represents processing. There is a symbol that represents output. So all these, that is what the flow chart is all about. Using symbol to map out the step by step, which is now what? The algorithm. So I want you to unmute and tell me, between algorithm and flowchart, which one a programmer should consider first? Who can give us the answer? Oh yeah.
Please, can you repeat the question?
Sorry, we didn't get you well. Between algorithm and flowchart, which one you should consider first as a coder?
Algorithm.
Good. Because that algorithm is what you are breaking down, right? Is what you are representing with what? The symbol.
Yes, sir.
I call what?
Flowchart.
Good. God bless you. So I will just, let's take note of this. Let's take note of this introducing, okay, let's talk about what? Common symbol, common flowchart symbol. Common flowchart. So we are gradually rounding up. Like I said, today, we are not going to get to practical. We just want to lay a strong foundation so that you know what and what is required. The first class was just to have a general knowledge of the computer. Why this one is to have general knowledge of what is coding and what are involved. That is the objective. Okay, so let's look at common word flow chart. Common flow chart what? Symbol. Common flow chart symbols. Number one, I want to look at oval shape. How many of us know what is called oval shape? So you can, we have oval. Oval shape is used to indicate the starting point of your program, of your flowchart, of your algorithm, or the end is to represent both start and end. All right, so take note of all this. Take note of all this, please. So the next one is rectangle. Rectangle. The rectangle is used to indicate process. Then we have the next one, which is diamond. Diamond. Diamond is used to indicate decision, because when you are writing a code, there's a point where the computer is deciding before it gives you the what? The output. So we need to know that decision. All right, and then we have arrow. We have arrow. We have arrow. Arrow is used to show, to flow direction. arrow is used to flow what? Direction. All right. So now let me just do a simple illustration. I hope you are still, if you are done writing, let me know. I want to sketch a flowchart of a particular task so that we see how all this will be represented.
Yes, sir.
Are you done writing this? Can I wipe it off?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's assume that we want to program an app that will add two numbers and display the result. So we are going to have maybe add here. Let's say add calculator. For example, add calculator. Then you will have the stats. What symbol did I say is used to represent stats? So let's say we have the stats here. Don't mind the shape. Something like this. Something like this. Sorry. Oh. Something like this. So they represent what? Stats. You can be sketching it because after this, we end the session. This symbol, I said, it's used to represent start or end. Then after that, I talk about what? Inputs. You have inputs where you use something like this to represent. You use something like this to represent. You can actually browse all this and see them. So which means that start here, we will give a value. So this one will not be the first variable. We are going to understand that. So we'll give 10 first to the program. And then that is the first input. We represent another input. We represent another input. At this point, we will give the computer 12. And then we will represent the process. That is, once we have given 10 and 12 to the program to now process it. All right. So we can also use we can now use a rectangle, a full rectangle to represent the process. So what is going to happen here is computer is going to pick 10, then add it together with what? 12. And then the final state, which is the end, which is another oval shape, like we have stated, another oval shape. Then finally, it will what? It will print. That is the output. The computer will now finally what? Print. Are we together? Don't mind my shoe. I'm only trying to give us a sketch. So you can now see that this is, I want somebody to tell me, this diagram is called what in programming? What is this diagram called?
A flowchart.
A flowchart. A flowchart. Flowchart. Okay, so any question? Any question? Any question? I believe we have learned a lot. On Tuesday, we shall be looking at introduction to, in fact, we are going to start with how to install application we are going to use to be writing the codes, both the mobile version, those that are using phone, and the laptop version. That Tuesday class, what time did I say is Tuesday class, please? Can somebody unmute and remind us again? What time did I say is Tuesday class?
7 p.m. to 9 p.m.
9 p.m. All right. So once we get to August now, we are not going to be taking them in the night again. All right. So once we enter August, we are going to reschedule the time to either in the morning or in the evening. The evening is going to be like 3 to 5 or 5 to 7. No, none of these classes were stage 7 from August. But for now, we are going to go this way because you are opportune to join the first batch. All right. So now, on Tuesday, like I said, we are going to focus on how to install IDE, how to set up a development environment for us to write our code, then test our code. If there's any error, we debug. Those that are using phone, make sure you have a good Android phone. Those that are using laptop, we are going to look at different apps that goes with each of these devices. So whatever we are learning, you should be able to practice as well from your end. All right. But if you want to really enjoy it fullest, make sure that even after learning, try and make arrangement to get a laptop. It's more convenient to learn coding using laptops than mobile because of the screen size, right? So, but that doesn't mean that you cannot learn and implement with the mobile. The only inconvenience there is that the screen will not be that big enough. All right. Any questions so far? Any question? If there's no question, then we can end the session. Hello. We have question. Any question, or you want to say something about the training so far?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. But I'm enjoying the training actually. I like the way you're breaking things down for us
Thank
to
you.
understand.
Thank you. Can I also hear from another person?
Sir, please, does CSS have a full meaning?
Yes, CSS has the full meaning of CSS cascade style sheet. We are still going to talk about that when we get to finally. Cascade style sheet. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
I think Bruno, we're able to hear you clearly now. So what has been your experience so far? Hope you're enjoying the class.
Yes, I was enjoying the class.
Okay. Where are you joining from?
River State.
Where?
Port Harcourt.
Port Harcourt. Okay. All right. You're welcome. All right. So,
Okay.
all right. Galaxy A9, I hope, what is your experience so far with the class? Hope you are enjoying it. Okay. Now, what you are going to do for me in the group, I believe all of you have access to type in that group, right? So help me to type, I enjoyed the class of today in that group, every one of that WhatsApp group, so that those that did not join, we know that they missed something for them to join in the next class. So just go there and type, my name is this, I enjoyed to this class. My name is this, I enjoyed to this class. Just put it there. Thank you. See you on Tuesday. Bye for now. Tell people around you to join. You can see that we have not entered the main practical. So Tuesday we'll start the practical. So if you have any friend, any loved one, sister or brother, please tell them to key into this kind of opportunity. All right. So bye for now. See you later. Make sure you extend my greetings to your parents. Bye.